Welcome to Discussions in the Afterlife. My name's Jim. I work with my sister Colleen, and I've been slacking. I know, but I'm back. I'm back in Panama. You might tell by the background. I, uh, Colleen and I have been working on this particular subject for some time now. Years ago, when our father had recently passed, it turns out he was in a place they called behind the walls. That's what our dead relatives would call it. It turns out it's a form of hell behind the walls. And after we discovered that, we asked at one point who would look in on him, who would check on him. And here it turns out his aunt and his cousin. He loved both of these people dearly. And so they would, so then the next study, is where Colleen and we put recorders around our individual houses and we ask questions and listen for answers. So none of this happens in real time. So the next study we asked if those two women can stay with our father behind the walls. No, Colleen, somebody responds. They're on a different level. All right. So that started our exploration on levels. There are levels, lots of different levels in the afterlife. Nobody will give us a straight answer to how many. It's not a simple 1, 2, 3. And levels are not a negative thing. It's like old versus young. Young people don't know everything. Maybe some of us old people don't either. But that's where the levels are based on is education or experience. That might be the right word for it. So we've been trying to glean more information about this subject, and I got my notes. I can't do this without notes. So Colleen, back in late November, Colleen did a study in her house. It was just too windy here to do it. So Colleen did a study at her house, and we have to kind of trick them a little bit because they direct questions sometimes really they don't help. So we ask them about us, the family. I mean, they're all family. All the people that respond to these questions are family members of Colleen and I. So Colleen started by asking, who is the leader of the Finnegan group? Our group, Finnegan. In the kitchen, that would be Jim. That's our grandfather, Jim Finnegan. I'm named after him. And he's always been a boss. So it appears that he's moved up into the leadership position now. And apparently he's taken over for his grandfather, Peter. And the kind of like the rumor we get from the afterlife, if there is such a thing, is that Peter came back as a human. He's back here now. We would love to figure that one out. They're very coy about telling us information on that subject, though. But Peter was instrumental from the afterlife as the leader. Peter was instrumental with me getting this house in Panama and moving down here from the Pennsylvania winter. So, yeah, I'd like to shake that guy's hand at some point. So, and there's some more responses. Colleen had asked, who is the leader of the Finnegan group? Near the powder room, a man replies, that was your grandfather. At the steps, that would be your grandfather. They confirm it. It's our grandfather who is now the leader, the overall leader of the Finnegan group. And I dare say he's going to make a good leader. He was a boss when he was alive. He ran a huge mechanical contracting company, did all the big work in Philadelphia, the subway, the airport, I mean, City Hall Annex. He did just a lot of crazy work. And the next question that Colleen asked, how many levels separate the leader from the average group member? This is in the afterlife. How many levels separate the leader from the average group member? In the dining room, a male responds to her, many, Colleen. Near the powder room, a man says, bigger problem, there it is. And over by her steps going to the second floor, the gap. A guy says, the gap. So, it sounds like a problem. When you have just a couple of kings and everybody else is a peasant, that's not a good scenario. And it sounds like these people are bitching, these men are bitching about it. That the gap between the leader and the average person is, it's big. One guy says, bigger problem, there it is. So that is probably something our grandfather will address. As we all know, every society that has a strong middle class is a better society. That's where we're at. And that's what we're going to go for. Fingers crossed. Come on, Bubba. Do it up. I'll be back to you in a little bit.